Today we took inspiration from Rod Stewart and we're looking at a new wearable, the Maggie IVR.
We really couldn't try any harder.
What do you mean? Oh. Nice. Hi all, welcome back to another Tech Connect. We are taking a look at another electronic wearable device, the Maggie IVR. Now you might be saying to yourself, hey tech bros, tech buddies, tech guru chiefs, tech pals, another wearable? Well, yes, but this one is different. Maggie IVR. Luke, do you know, or what is your guess? What does the I stand for in IVR? Wrong. It's actually using an iPhone, which is the first wearable device to use an iPhone as the brains of the operation.
Except the Apple Vision Pro.
Apple Vision Pro doesn't use an iPhone. Next question. Was that a question? I was just going to say, was that even a question?
I mean, let's face it, the Apple Vision Pro might as well be an iPhone struck to your face.
No, the Maggie IVR is one of the only devices using an iPhone as the brains of the operation. A lot of wearables use Android instead. And I do think there might be some benefits to using the Apple iPhone, especially because they're known for such great camera performance. So I'll be interested to see if that carries over to the Maggies. We will be running a number of tests: close-up, distance, contrast, low light test, and also watching television. So stick with us and let's see how Maggie IVR performs. Before we dive into our test though, we should talk about the headset itself and the button layout so we know how to actually use the device. This is a VR style headset, so if you've seen videos on the Iris Vision or some of the other devices that use this fully immersive VR headset, you might be a little bit more familiar with it. So this has, on the top of it, there are two dials on the left, one on the right. This is gonna adjust for a prescription you may have. And then in between those dials is another dial that's gonna adjust for PD. Or, what does PD stand for, my man?
Pupillary distance.
Yes. On the right-hand side, we have three buttons in a column. The top is a plus, below that is a minus, and there's a tactile plus and a minus sign, so you can feel that. Right below the minus is a USB-C port. This is kind of cool because it can then be used while it's plugged in. So typical battery life is 3 to 4 hours, but if you need more time, you can plug your device in via USB-C and run it longer, both at home or on the go using an USB-C battery pack charging station kit.
Good. Go to Best Buy and ask for one of those.
Exactly. Yep. And then below that is our button, the last button on the bottom, that is our mode button. Pressing this will go through the different modes. Luke will be demonstrating those modes in a moment. Pressing and holding it should reset back to a default view, but
yes,
it's not working for us.
Well, don't say that, we have to test it.
That is true. So we will see if it works or not.
Yes, which it won't.
Two other real quick buttons. On the top of the device, closer to the front edge, is a button that when we press and hold, or press that is going to be actually pressing the power/Siri button on the side of the device. And so it's a cool way to be able to either lock or unlock your phone, but more importantly, launch Siri if you needed to. And then on the opposite, on the bottom edge, is another button, and that is actually going to hit the action button. And so that tells us, though, Luke,
yes,
that this headset does require 15 Pro currently.
Yes.
They are working on another headset for the 16 Pro that will be coming out shortly, but as of right now, the device that's sold strictly works with a 15 Pro. So Luke, in just a moment, is going to show how to set up that action button, so when you press it, it launches the Maggie IVR app, making it super convenient. Last thing really quick is the adjustable head strap. It's a nice sturdy head strap, and it's got 3 different adjustable Velcro points so that you can make sure that you firmly adjust it snugly on your head.
Firm and snug, eh?
Yes, it'll snuggle right up on your head.
Nice and firm.
Yep. All right, so let's pass it over to Luke, and he's gonna show us real quick how to set up that action button so it launches the Maggie IVR app.
As Corey said, we are now going to look at how to map the action button to launch the Maggie IVR app. When you're looking for the app, make sure you look for Maggie IVR. We get confused about that very often, but it is IVR. Now, with this device, you can use your own phone, or you can buy the device with the phone, Corey. Without the phone, how much does it cost?
Currently, without the phone, it's $2,500.
All right, with the phone, Corey?
I believe it's $3,500, and that is at time of recording. That may change.
Yes, and that was, as Corey said, currently with the iPhone 15 Pro, soon to be the iPhone 16 Pro. You can take the phone out of the headset easily and use it as a regular cell phone. So if you do buy the version that has the phone included, then that can become your cell phone, and a very nice phone it is, Corey.
I enjoy it.
Yes, you do. Although sometimes not, but most of the time, yes.
Earlier I didn't.
Earlier you didn't, yes.
But now I do, because it's not in my hand.
All right, so let's take a quick look at how we can set the action button to launch the app. So when we put the phone into the headset, we can just press the action button and the app will get started. All we have to do, Corey, is go to the settings. I know you're very familiar with the settings.
One of my favorite apps.
Yeah, me too. And in there, we're going to find action button. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that. It currently on the screen says no action, but we want to find something to do with applications. So I'm going to go ahead and swipe until I get to shortcuts, because it's going to create a shortcut to open an app for us. I'm going to hit the create shortcut button. Now I have a list of shortcuts which I can create, and the one that I want to choose is open app. That has brought up an alphabetical list of all of my apps. I'm going to scroll down until I find, Corey,
Maggie IVR.
Good job, sir. And here it is, Maggie IVR. I'm going to go ahead and hit that. And now we have set the shortcut. So whenever we hit the action button, which remember you can do by pressing the button on the bottom of the headset, that's going to go ahead and launch the Maggie IVR app. It's easy when you know how. All right, let's get down to some testing.
But Luke,
yes,
before you test, you gotta slide the phone in.
Indeed you do. Thank you for reminding me, Corey. So here's how we slide the phone in. We take the headset, we take the phone. Let's make sure the cameras are facing to the outside, Corey, otherwise we're not going to be seeing too much.
Yeah, I don't know who would ever think like why it would be the other way. Yeah, that's just weird.
You've definitely never inquired as to which way the phone should go around.
Never.
And there's a nice cutout for the cameras here, so it's pretty easy to know which way it should go in. And we're just gonna slide it in, and it slides in real nice, and then makes a satisfying click as we seat it onto the connector there. And there's a little bit that's keeping the phone in, so it's not gonna fall out at any point. Very easy to do, and a very good design, I would say, Corey.
Look, it's a good idea to have a screen protector on. At least they definitely recommend doing it. I don't think the device is gonna ruin your phone at all. But if it's your personal phone and you're sliding it in and out of the device, I suppose there's a chance of scratching the screen. I don't have one on, so I guess at the end of the video, we'll see what it looks like.
Yeah,
but
looks quite bad.
Yeah, it recommended to at least have that screen protector on.
All right, so we've got the phone in the headset, and now we're gonna launch the Maggie IVR app using the button at the front bottom. If you remember, we just set up the shortcut to do that, so holding that down, and now I'm into the app. You do get a message when you first launch the app telling you to use the plus and minus buttons to align the image. It's very important to do this, Corey, otherwise you're going to get double vision, and that's not going to help you at all. But now I am looking through the regular viewing mode, and I am looking around, and we're going to go ahead and do the close-up test. For those who saw the eSight video, you may remember the classic book, I Love You More, Baby Saw.
Oh, that's right. I didn't see how it. We never finished the ending.
No, well, maybe.
I'm excited.
Maybe now. So let's read the last page. Hopefully, we won't ruin it for anybody, Corey. But I'm going to go ahead and open the book. This is the same book we used for the eSight test. And we'll take a look. I'm at 1x magnification so far. Colors are looking good. I can't quite read the words at the moment. If you remember, I do not have a visual impairment, but I can't see anything without my glasses on. And so I'm going to go ahead and start to zoom in here. And yeah, I can see, baby, you're the king of my heart, the best I'll ever find.
Oh, that's so nice of you.
I know. Well, I was talking about the dinosaur.
Oh, you're reading the book? Okay, sorry.
And there's a mama dinosaur, and there's a little baby dinosaur, and they're having a great time. Let's go ahead and check out some of the colors that we have available here. So I'm going to hit the mode button, and we will use the plus and minus to change through the colors. We have the grayscale. We have a white on black that isn't looking very good. Okay, all of these colors are looking very washed out, Corey, so I think we're going to have to make another adjustment, probably with the contrast. Let me hit the mode button here, and we'll see if we can find what we need here. And okay, so here we go. So I just adjusted the contrast here, and this is much better now. So the blacks are a lot blacker and the whites are a lot whiter. And I have to say, Corey, we're not getting that noise issue that we had with the eSight. So this mode actually looks better than it did with the eSight, and that is definitely helping me to read. Let's just see what other colors we've got here. So we've got a yellow on black, we've got a black on yellow, black on green, green on black, and then we are back to the grayscale again. So plenty of colors to choose from there, and you can get them looking pretty nice. I would say this is definitely usable. Now, Corey, we had a scale that we started to use with eSight and then we never pursued.
It was a pass-fail.
It was a pass-fail, and I think for me, for the reading, this is a pass. We have a good field of view, we have some good color options, decent quality image, and it does seem to be pretty stable as well when I'm reading, so maybe not as stable as the eSight, but I'm definitely not getting too much jiggling. So yes, I think this one is working pretty good, Corey.
All right, let's move on to our next test, our distance test.
Let's do it.
Distance test number 1, action!
So if you remember from our eSight video, we like to have Corey standing with an eye chart so that I can zoom in and see what I can see from the distance. We are approximately 10 feet away currently, and Corey is holding the eye chart in front of him. I'm at 0 magnification, and I can see the FP at the top of the chart, and that is it. So let's get zooming. I'm gonna find the plus button here and start to zoom in. And here we are at plus 6 times, Corey, and I can read an F, P, L, P, E, D, E, D, F, C, Z, P, D, E, F, P, O, T, E, C. Or is that a G? Something like that, anyway. So that was the, let's see, 4th line down. It's kind of washed out at the moment, and it is bouncing around a fair bit as well at this magnification. Definitely don't have the level of image stabilization of the eSight that we tried recently. Let me zoom in a little bit further and see if I can see the bottom 2 lines. So now I'm at 17 times LEFODPCT, and at the bottom PEZOLCRTD. Corey, I was not able to read that line with the eSight, and so I managed to get all the way to the bottom this time. And yeah, it actually stayed surprisingly clear at the highest magnification that I was on there. Let me see how far this actually goes up here. Okay, we go up to 20 times, so I was almost at the highest magnification. But surprisingly, even at this magnification, the image still stays surprisingly sharp. We're not getting a lot of that pixelization. Now, if I look at your face, Corey, some of the pixelization is a little bit more noticeable, but in general, that's pretty impressive. Before we finish this test, let me try out some of the different colors here, just to see what those look like at distance. I will hit the mode button, and I'm gonna go ahead and choose the white on black again. And yeah, I mean, it looks really nice and white and really nice and black, if you see what I'm saying. And definitely is not having that same issue with noise that we had with the eSight. So I would say, Corey, in the pass-fail test.
Yes, very scientific.
I know about our scientific test, yeah. This is actually another pass, and I would say that this is actually performing better than the eSight in terms of image quality and with those high contrast colors, and we almost have as much magnification available. So big thumbs up for this one, sir. Shall we move on to the next test?
We shall.
And what do we have next, Corey?
We will be moving into
contrast test number 1.
Is this your official testing voice?
Yes, and there's only one test.
Okay. Well, let's do contrast test number 1 of 1. Time for contrast sensitivity test 1 of 1. Corey is holding the chart with the numbers on that get less and less contrasty as they go down the page, and we need to adjust the contrast on the headset to see them. Now, Corey, instead of just pressing the plus button a bunch of times to zoom in, this time I'm going to hold it down because we can do that and get continuous zoom. So I'll go ahead and hold down the plus button, and here we go, zooming in until I let go of it. And I'm going to wait until I can see a few of the lines here. Okay, so we'll stop here. I'm on 9.75 times. I can see the top line 23635, next line down 39417, and the next line down 13826, but that one is getting a little bit faded, and I know there are lines of numbers underneath there, but I can't currently see them. So let me go ahead and adjust the contrast here. I'm going to hit the mode button, and we will get through to contrast, and I'm going to go ahead and start to use my plus and minus buttons here. And, ooh, I'm actually making them disappear, Corey. So I'm actually making them worse by increasing this, so let me decrease it instead. Okay, I can't get that to a point where I can actually see those numbers, so instead I'm going to go and change the exposure settings. So let me go ahead and hit my button here until we get to the exposure settings. This will kind of adjust the amount of light that's coming in. It's kind of like dilating the pupil or shrinking the pupil down. Now I can see 68945, and so that's another line down, but I can't see the bottom line at all. Let me just try zooming in just in case. And no, the bottom line is invisible. So it doesn't seem to work quite as well as the eSight for the contrast sensitivity. However, I can see that you are able to make adjustments to the contrast to help make things pop a bit more. So we'll give this a in-between, not necessarily the best, not the worst. It's just kind of, you know, average in this regard. With this test done, Corey, it's time to turn off the lights. Let's get dark. Okay, so it's time for the low light test. We do like to see how these wearables perform in low light for those people who just need a bit of brightening when things get a bit dim. And so far, just with the normal settings pretty much here, the camera is adjusting somewhat for the light conditions. It's very dark in this room at the moment, and Corey is stood in front of me, and I can see kind of the image fluctuating as it tries to adjust for the low light. And it's actually doing a good job already, Corey. But there's a couple of things that we could change here to make it even brighter. I'm going to go ahead and go into my exposure settings. This will change the amount of light that the aperture is letting in, and I'm going to increase that, and wow, this is really making a huge difference. I'm only on 35% here, and it already seems like it's daytime. Like, it's really quite bright. Let's just crank it all the way up to 100 just for funsies, and yeah, wow, that's kind of crazy. It's just super bright now. Now, it does look washed out at this level, so obviously we wouldn't necessarily want to set it that high in this circumstance. I'm going to lower it back down to about 45% here. And the other thing we can do, Corey, which we did with the eSight in the last test, is adjust the screen brightness too. And so I'm going to go ahead and go to the screen brightness and crank that up to 100. And this is really looking super bright now. It's really dark in this room, but you could not tell if you were wearing this headset. I'll go ahead and zoom in here on what Corey is holding, and I can see some shapes here. Let's identify them. I'm at 10.75 times magnification. I see a star, I see a smiley face, I see a moon, I see a heart, I see a house, I see a flag. And at the bottom, where the shapes are very small, let me see, an umbrella. And I can't identify the other two things. They look to be spherical. But in any case, in terms of the brightness of the image, this really is pretty impressive. Now, it does look quite grainy, and we had this with the eSight as well, where it's trying to adjust for the low light. And so the image definitely looks grainier than it would in the normal light. But all in all, Corey, I would say that this one is a good pass. What do you think?
Yep.
Okay, so it's time for the big television test. The television is something that a lot of people want to watch with their wearable device. And how well does the Maggie IVR work in this regard? Well, let's find out. I'm about 15 or 20 feet away from a 65-inch TV, and I'm going to go ahead and start to zoom in. Currently, I am at 0% contrast, and I am at 30% exposure. I'm in the regular viewing mode, and all the colors are looking very washed out. This is not ideal. This is not what we want, but luckily, we have adjustments that can be made, and the first thing to do is go into the television mode. It's in the color menu, and if we switch through to the television mode, instantly those colors have become dampened, and everything is a lot less glary and washed out, which is exactly what we want. So things are looking a lot better already. And yeah, things are definitely watchable here. Things are looking pretty nice. I'm at a fairly high magnification, and the image still looks nice and clear. So the camera on this is really pretty good. Now, I actually think that further adjustments might make things even better. I'm going to go back into the menu. I'm going to get to the contrast, the exposure option here, and we're going to adjust the exposure down to 0%. And for me, I think that this gives the best image. The colors are not hyped at all, but I don't want them to be hyped. I want them to be natural, and I don't want them to be super washed out. And this, for me, is giving the best image. It really is pretty nice and clear, so I think this is practical in terms of image quality for watching TV with, for sure. And if I look down at my laptop screen here, I'm having the same results here. The colors are more saturated here, but that's because the colors on my laptop screen are naturally more saturated. And I can zoom in, and the image is still nice and sharp. Everything's looking good. So I do like this one for the image quality and the color reproduction. for watching television, and I believe that they are actually adding an additional TV streaming box, which is going to allow you to stream television directly from the TV into the headset, which could make things even better as well. I'm not sure exactly when that's coming, but if you want to see something very similar, you can check out our video on the Vision Buddy, which is another wearable device. So check that out. In the meantime, this is a pass to television watching, and it's time to get this thing wrapped up.
Our battery's starting to get low on our microphone, so we gotta wrap this video up. Hopefully Luke's microphone doesn't turn off, but
Sure, hope not.
we performed all of our typical tests that we do. Oh.
I've just tested my microphone.
We did our typical tests that we do on wearable devices, and ultimately it did pass on all of them.
Ooh.
But what is your final thoughts, Luke? What's your opinion?
Okay, image quality, good. Colors, sometimes strange when I'm just looking around the room. Things look strangely yellow.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if that's just me or not. Sometimes I get that, sometimes I don't. So, and I try messing with the settings, but I can never quite, when I'm seeing it, I can never quite correct it.
Sure.
So watching television, I thought it worked well for that, yeah. Good level of magnification, easy to control. They are coming out with a controller as well, I believe, Corey.
Yeah.
From what Elizabeth said in our live show. But one big thing which makes it ultimately not work for me.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable to wear, like significantly uncomfortable for me to wear. Number one, the iPhone 15 Pro is quite a heavy phone.
Sure.
And so you've got that in the front of your headset. And the way that the headset is designed, it was sitting right on my nose, and all of that weight was just digging in. There was like just a plastic was just digging into my nose there. There doesn't seem to be a good kind of solution for nose padding on the headset that we got. And I don't know if this is just us or this is the way the headset is designed, but it would make it very difficult, Corey, for me to wear for any significant period of time.
Sure.
During the filming of this video, my nose got quite sore, and I can't imagine watching, a long movie like this or anything like that. I tried to adjust the straps as much as possible to get that weight off of my nose, but I wasn't able to do it. I do have a small head, and so maybe that was playing into it. But ultimately, that was definitely a deal breaker for me. It doesn't matter how good the device is functionally if it's uncomfortable to wear.
Yeah, obviously comfort's super important, especially because you are going to be wearing these devices for a longer period of time.
Especially this one, which you can plug in, so you can wear it for as long as you want.
So I'll be curious, maybe ours was missing some nose pads that should have been there. For anyone else that might have the Maggie IVR, or if there's anybody from Maggie.Vision, maybe you could let us know if there's something we might have been missing, or maybe it's just an opportunity for improvement on Generation 2.
Yes.
But I really like that it's using the iPhone. I think that's a really cool idea. I think people have an iPhone already, so it's nice to be able to just buy the headset itself and just use your own personal phone for those times when you want a wearable electronic magnifier.
Yeah, for sure. Just a couple of quick things. We didn't do an outdoor test because it's a VR style headset, and so it's going to work well outside because it blocks all the external light. So we didn't think it was really necessary to do that. One other thing, being a VR style headset, it does have a nice wide field of view, and so it definitely has a good field of view as well as good range of magnification. So there are a lot of pluses for this headset, Corey, and hopefully they can make the headset just a little bit more comfortable to wear.
And like we say on all of our wearable electronic demos, it's best to come and get hands-on. You know, it might be uncomfortable for you, but it might be comfortable for the next person. You might thought the colors were washed out or the yellow a little bit. Totally different for somebody else.
Yeah.
You just never know what you're going to get. And so that's why it's important to find a place where you can go and get hands-on with these devices and really find out which device is best for you.
Indeed. And with that being said, Corey, let's wrap this up. Corey, we have a learning management system where people can go and see webinars and earn on-demand ACVREP credits, as well as being able to see all of our previous YouTube videos, including the live ones and the produced ones. Corey, where would people do to find this treasure trove of information? Where would they go?
They're going to head over to techconnect.vision-forward.org. That's techconnect.vision vision-forward.org. We got a lot of punctuation in there.
That's a tough one.
If you want audio-only versions, we do have it via a podcast. Just bring up your podcast app, do a search for Vision Forward Tech Connect, and you will find it, and you can enjoy audio only.
Indeed, and we also have a live show. Make sure to tune in for that every other Thursday, 11 a.m. Central. The last live show was with Joe Jorgensen from Accessibite, so you can go ahead and check that one out. And we're not sure what the...
Typing, he taught me how to type.
He taught you how to type.
That's what I'm doing, yeah.
And the next one that's coming up, well, I'm not exactly sure what the topic is, but if you just check our channel a week after this video releases, so the Thursday after this video releases, that will be our next live show. You can watch it from the homepage of our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Vision Forward Tech Connect. Come and check it out, and you can interact with us and have some fun.
We always ask that you please subscribe. The majority of individuals watching this are not subscribed, so you can really help our channel out by just tapping or clicking on that subscribe button. Also give it a like, throw a comment down. All of those things go really a long way to help this channel grow. We are pushing to 6,000 subscribers, and you can help by just doing those couple quick things for us. And it doesn't cost you one single penny.
Nope, Corey, I'm going to go subscribe right now.
You're not already?
No comment.
Wow. All right, we're almost to 6,000. We're one closer.
All right, with that being said, it's time to get out of here.
A new wearable, the Maggie IVR.
We really couldn't try any harder.
What do you mean? Oh. Nice.
Oh, Maggie, I couldn't have tried.